everybody. It's me, Timmy Flowers Guy, and welcome to Back in the Day. Today's episode, I'm going to dedicate today's episode to Philadelphia 6 ABC Action News reporter Jim Gardner. I grew up watching Jim Gardner every morning with my mom and my dad, and I gotta say, Jim Gardner, he was one hell of a guy, and one great guy too. He officially retired on Wednesday, and he will be officially retiring for Action News, and just want to come on here and thank Jim Gardner for being one of the great mainstays of 6 ABC Action News. He's been on the show since before I was born, and I grew up with Jim Gardner, and yeah, I gotta say, he was one of my favorite reporters on Action News. He was very iconic to the city of Philadelphia. Congratulations, Jim Gardner. Thank you for all your many wonderful years on Action News. It was an honor and a privilege to watch you on TV every morning. And I want to thank you for all your contributions to this wonderful city. Thank you, Jim Gardner. Without further ado, the best of Jim Gardner on Action News.
So tonight is a very special night here at Action News. First of all, it's your birthday.
Oh,
I'm sorry I had to say that. Also, we're celebrating 40 years of Jim anchoring Action News at 6 and 11. Have to say, a remarkable record of respect and achievement. Take a look.
Action News.
What the big story in Action News tonight?
Jim came to Action News in 1976, first as the noon anchor reporter, then quickly added the 5:30 newscast to his anchoring duties. By May of 1977, Jim took over the big chair at 6 and 11, where he became and remains the region's most watched and most trusted anchorman ever. But Jim will tell you that any good anchorman must first be a good writer and reporter, and Jim has always loved covering big stories.
I can't tell you what a thrill it is for me to be doing a broadcast from the third base dugout at Citizens Bank Park.
He's interviewed every sitting president since the late 1970s, and presidential candidates too. He's covered every major political convention in cities all across the country for more than 30 years. But there's more. Jim traveled to West Germany in 1981 for the return of Americans held hostage in Iran.
This would be the first time they have stepped foot on American territory in more than 440 days.
And to Moscow following the collapse of the Soviet Union.
For them, the state of the state is not good.
He was in Havana for Pope John Paul II's historic trip to Fidel Castro's communist Cuba.
The Pope has now arrived here in Revolution Square to tell his message of peace, love, and freedom.
And to report on tensions in the Middle East.
And eliminate the Syrian gun emplacements.
Over the past 40 years, you've welcomed Jim Gardner into your homes, a steady, credible voice delivering countless big stories on Action News, plus stories of issues and events in communities large and small around the region. Stories important to you, our loyal viewers. He leads by example. Jim's drive and determination in our newsroom are legendary. His journalistic standards of no compromise, no shortcuts to excellence have set the bar high for all of us.
Anytime I finish a story and I'm wondering if it's good enough for Action News, I ask myself, would it pass the Jim test? And if the answer is no, then I go back and start again. And inevitably, when I can answer yes, then our viewers are well served.
What? 40 years? I actually thought it was longer.
As they say, it's not news unless Jim Gardner says it. Jim, you've earned that respect. Congratulations on 4 decades of excellence, and thank you personally for being kind to me and the others who follow in your footsteps.
Jim, you've been at the top of your game for 4 decades in a tough market. Good for you. Kudos to a real news leader.
Jim, congratulations. Of course, you are the standard of excellence here at this station and in the Delaware Valley. It's been a pleasure to follow you, to work with you, to learn from you.
We have some breaking news tonight. Jim Gardner on the air for 40 years. You know, everyone thinks it's the Action News theme that draws you in all these years, but we know it's really Jim Gardner.
There's a lot of fake news out there these days, so much fake news, but one man has always given it to us straight. Jim has the gravitas of Walter Cronkite, the tenacity of Ted Koppel, and the mustache of Ron Burgundy. All the greats wrapped up into one.
Nobody works harder, nobody reports better, nobody writes so well, no one is so passionate is about the work they do. Jim, you have just been a great role model over these last 40 years. Thanks for your work, thanks for your service. I've loved working with you.
For 40 years, night after night, you've earned the respect and trust of all of our very loyal viewers in the Delaware Valley. And you've taught all of us that being fair, accurate, and having integrity are the cornerstones to Action News.
Jim, on behalf of the entire Walt Disney Company, congratulations on this exceptional milestone. You know, 40 years, that speaks volumes, not just in terms of your commitment to Philadelphia and to that television station, but in terms of the quality of your work and to how much you are loved and respected by the entire Philadelphia marketplace.
I'm Jim Gardner in Wiesbaden, West Germany.
I'm Jim Gardner in the Holy Land. I'm Jim Gardner in Havana.
For Action News, I'm Jim Gardner. Good night.
And I have to say, getting to work with you night after night, you make us better. And the viewers may not know that the funny moments, they're unscripted. It's not rehearsed. And it really is a pleasure for all of us to work with you.
Fortunately for us, they don't know most of the unscripted.
They know a lot of them, though.
I have to say, this is poignant because when you reach the midpoint of your career,
another 40
what
years.
are you laughing about?
I'm not laughing at all.
No, I do want to say something. The fact is I probably have the easiest job in this building because so much of my job is representing the work of everybody else at Action News, not just reporters, but photographers and editors and assignment editors and graphic artists and producers. This is a superb group that provides me with consistently superior material. But I would like to acknowledge 3 people. Jamie Shore has been producing the 6 o'clock news for 6 years. Matt Szymanski has been producing this newscast for 6 years and the 6 o'clock for 5 years prior to that. I have come to rely on their skill, their judgment, and their support. They are really good. And executive producer Rick Williams, who put together that video that we just saw, well, he and I have been working together in some form for 35 years. I will go to my death hearing Rick Williams say, "Jim, it's too long." I am hardly the only one who counts their time at Action News in decades. But every colleague of mine has but one goal, and that is to serve you as best we know how. 2 words are our guideposts: accurate and fair. And Action News continues in just a moment.